this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I have another sketches for the 6x6 paper pad. This is sketch number 9, and I am going to bring out my quarantine paper to go ahead and get some of the memes scrapbooked for this layout. Now, this sketch is paid content, so I cannot share the sketch with you, but it basically has 4x4 squares or photos across the entire layout. And I did not have any 4x4 photos. All of my photos are printed by 4x6, so I did go ahead and cut some of them down, but most of them are larger than what the sketch calls for. I did originally pull out these two pieces of paper here that says COVID-19 life and quarantine, but the words are so big on it that it just wouldn't work with the layout. So I went ahead and pulled out this white piece of cardstock. Now, for me and what I am doing in regards to documenting COVID and what is currently going on is to document some of the details that are very important. I have actually taken down some of the information in regards to like statistics and things like that, but then I also wanted to document kind of the funny side of this. My title is actually going to be COVID humor, and one of the tags that I'm going to end up adding says humor heals. So I just think that it works really well with some of these memes that are in here, and just really thinking about how our life has kind of changed quite a bit in the last few months. So I am just looking through all of the photos as well as my paper, trying to match up papers and photos and kind of make sure everything works. Like I said, there is 4x4 squares or 4x4 photos across this layout, and I do change it up quite a bit to fit my photos, but the concept of the 8 squares on each side it's basically the same as the sketch. I do go ahead and use my Faded Jeans Distress ink to distress all of the edges of this paper, and I also use fun foam on a couple of the photos to, emphasize them in this layout. Like that green one there that says germs go away. I think that's really cute. The one that's on the far left hand side says, some people are saying that coronavirus only affects about 3% of the population and I'll be fine. And then it says underneath it, if I handed you 100 Skittles and told you that only 3 of them were poisoned and could kill you, would you take a handful? And it just really just talks about, staying home and using that logic as well. So some of them are, things to think about, and then some of them are just funny, like that one that's on the far right-hand side, where it is a airplane with a Lysol logo on it, and it's like crop dusting Lysol, because sometimes I do feel like I have Lysoled my entire house quite a bit. And I think probably my favorite one is the day 16 of quarantine, which is going to go on top of that orange one up there on the right hand side, where the guy is vacuuming his roof because, when you're in quarantine, you come up with some crazy things to do. There's only so much scrapbooking you do in one day. All right, enough about the photos themselves. Let's get back to the layouts. Like I said, I did go ahead and pop up some unfun foam. Some of them I laid flat, and then again, some of them were in a 4x4 dimension themselves. So I do highly recommend that you go pick up this sketchbook if you enjoy using 6x6 pieces of paper, or it's really good as well for scraps. And even though you cannot get in the Facebook group anymore, it is still a really good sketchbook, and I highly recommend picking it up. I will link it below for you guys. I do go ahead and pull out my embroidery floss. Now, I do not stitch anywhere near what Allison does on the sketch Because I had to change the orientation of the layout so much because my photos were such larger, I didn't really have enough room to do the stitching that she did on the sketch. So I just kind of stitched along that red square on the far left hand side and then put some cross stitching on the right hand side. Now the templates that I use are no longer available, and I know I've said it a couple times, but I will have a link below to American Crafts. I have emailed them asking them to bring these back, and if you are encouraged to email them as well, hopefully if we continue to bombard them with emails that they will bring these stitching pieces back for us. These are the little germ pieces that I cut out with my silhouette when I first started working on some of the quarantine stuff. There were a lot of germs pieces in the ephemera pieces, but I ended up using those pretty quickly. And I like to use those pieces as accents throughout the quarantine layouts. Once I go ahead and get the sets on the left and the right, I do go ahead and pull out my LE Studio stickers and I add a few different hearts. I know that COVID is not a heart lovey-dovey thing, but I'm really more looking at the hearts and the love for these memes that are here. I picked up these wonky alphas, I believe they're from Bella Boulevard, a while ago at Tuesday Morning, and I just love the font of these stickers. I decided to go ahead and add a few more germ pieces there to my title square, and I do end up adding a couple of hearts in the center of the germ pieces. Alright everyone, here is my final layout as well as some close-ups. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.